Hello and welcome to the last two races from the Volo's Guide to Every Monster that you might be able to play as a player character. This will be our last look at the races that were made available as optional player characters to 5e. After that, we'll move on to the next one, which is either, I don't know, probably Mordekainen's or maybe Tasha's. I'm not sure. I gotta look which ones actually had player character races because I'm beginning to think some of these were not actually meant to be player character races, but some people have just assumed they were meant to be player character races. But when you look at the differences between, like, say, the Asimir write-up and like the Orc write-up we're looking right now, they are in different parts of the book. So I don't know. I mean, I guess since they're all optional and the stats are there, I suppose if you it comes down to the DM wanting if the DM wants player character orcs, even though they're in the optional section of the optional races and Volos, sure, why not? Anyways, this is what you get if you're a player character orc. Your strength score increases by 2, your constitution increases by 1, and your intelligence score is reduced by 2. This is the first time we've seen that, but then again, this is not player character orc. It's NPC orc optional. I don't understand. And I'm sure that would be changed if it was a player character race. That would be interesting. I mean, that goes back to the old days when for the bonuses you also got minuses. But yeah, or you could just switch it over to the Tasha write up and say, 2 in one stat and 1 in a second stat, or 3 ones, or however Tasha works it. So you don't have to give yourself that reduced intelligence of 2, something that half-orcs don't have. So alignment, size, and speed doesn't matter. They have dark vision of 60 feet. They have an ability called aggressive. On a bonus action, you can move up to your speed towards an enemy of your choice that you can see or hear. You must end this move closer to the enemy than you started, and that you can use as many times as you want. You have an ability called menacing. You are trained in the intimidation skill, and you have powerful build. You count as one size larger when determining your carrying capacity and the weight you can push, drag, or lift. That's all reasonable. It's completely different than the half-orc, but that's all reasonable. Compared to, like, say, some of the weird stuff we've seen in the other races, like the kobold or whatever. I mean, orc is relatively reasonable. And they come in at number 12 at 0.4% in popularity. And the last player character race, optional player character race, whatever these things are, that were made available to us in Volos, coming in at 13 at 0.1%, is the Yuan-Ti, Pure Blood. I guess people just don't like snake player character races. So yeah, if you choose to have a Yuan-Ti Pureblood character, you would be a charisma score increase of 2, and your intelligence score increases of 1. Age, alignment, size don't matter, of course. Base speed of 30. You have dark vision of 60 feet. You have an innate spellcasting ability. You know the poison spray cantrip. You can cast unlimited amounts of animal friendship spells, but you can only target snakes. Starting at 3rd level, you can also cast Suggestion with this trait, but only against snakes. And you can only use those. Well, it says you can use the Suggestion, but then you have to take a long rest. But the Animal Friendship and the Poison Spray, you can cast as many times as you want. It's just you can only cast Animal Friendships on snakes. I don't know why they went with Poison Spray the spell instead of just giving them a Poison Bite or a Poison Spit or a Breath Weapon ability similar to the Dragonborn. That seems sort of weird. You have magic resistance of advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. That's wow. And you're immune to poison damage in the poisoned condition. Wow, what a huge difference in power level between, like, say, the orc and some of the other races and these guys. I mean, would you allow a player character race that has magic resistance and poison immunity at 1st level? I mean, maybe bonuses to saves, but I don't know if I give them complete resistance and immunity. And the animal friendship on snakes is just sort of silly. I'd probably change it. I would rewrite this one completely. I'd rewrite if I allowed Yuan-Ti player characters. I would change it so they can talk to snakes, and they have the same ability that all the other races have. That you could talk to snakes and make suggestions to snakes, influence the snake, and the snake might or might not do what you say. And maybe they could spit poison similar to the Dragonborn breath weapon. I might give them a bonus to save or advantages on magic resistance and poison immunity, but I wouldn't give them the flat out whatever. Yeah, but it feels like these two. Well, it definitely feels like this one is an optional race. Orc. I mean, if you're gonna allow an orc player character race in your game, this doesn't seem so bad compared to some of the others. I mean, compared to grovel, cower, and beg from the kobold or some of the other weird abilities that some of the other races we've seen has. Yeah, I'm okay with the orc. The Yuan-Ti, yeah, just doesn't really. That could be written way better and still keep the snake theme. Charisma being the score, I guess they're meant to be warlocks, snake themed warlocks of the serpent god or whatever, think Conan, two snakes, black snakes facing the sun, Thulsa Doom kind of thing, or sorcerers. I guess Thulsa Doom is either a warlock or a sorcerer. We've gone through all the races. Some of them make perfect sense, and I have no problems with them whatsoever. And if I was going to allow them in a 5e game, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine, whatever, if that was something that I'd allow in the game. And some of the other ones, I'm like, just really needs to be readdressed. The thinking here just makes no sense. So, it's 50-50. But remember, these are all optional races. They are not mandatory. You as the DM do not have to allow them if you don't want to. If you do allow them in your game, make sure everybody understands what they can and cannot do. If somebody comes to your table with one of these races and, discuss with them and say either, yeah, sure, I'm cool with that, or yeah, no, I don't have Yuan-Ti purebloods as a race in my game, but maybe we can come up with a happy medium. Maybe you could be a more snakish Dragonborn or something else and still have the snake theme, but yeah, I'm not letting that race because there's no, Yuan-Ti in my world or whatever. As long as you can come up with a happy medium and everybody's okay with it, whether allowing it or not allowing it. But final say, DM, if you don't want Yuan-Tis or orcs or goblins or kenkus or bugbears or any of these from Volos, that is up to you, sir, because they are all optional races, and you don't have to allow them if you do not want to. I don't know which one's going to be next. I have to look at the order and which ones do and do not actually have player character races. Some of these races are optional, and some of them are not even meant to be player characters, but people are still choosing them to be player characters, and I'm not sure where the dividing line is between, say, Goblin. Goblin is an optional race, but you don't have to allow them, and then just like having the stats for a race that's obviously not meant to be a player character, like the Yuan-Ti. It's like that's obviously here not supposed to be a player character. It's an option in the option of the options, but where is the line? Where's the line that says, yes, you can have these, they're okay, they were meant to be player characters, and no, these were never meant to be player characters. If you have them in your game, understand that they make the power level, but who cares? It's 5th edition D&D, so if you want ridiculous power level, that's literally embracing the idea of 5th edition. 5th edition is a ridiculous power level fantasy, heroic fantasy game. So, whatever. It's your world, your game. If you want to allow it, great. If you don't want to allow it, that's cool. Make sure your players understand that and just have fun playing. We will move on to whatever the next book is. If you want to hear more, if you think I should stop now, let me know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help me hit 1,000 subs by January 1st. And strange things will happen. Till then, have a great day, happy holidays, stay safe, get off my land. Slither on out of here.